Hi friends, it is May already, which means it is time for the April no-buy update. This past month, I noticed a bit of a pattern in my spending. I'm actually pretty good at being intentional at the start of a purchase, but not always until the end of the purchase. Because once something gets past my contentment filter, I sometimes start to add more. And that is where spending starts to inflate for me. And I realized that in April. Hi friends, welcome back or welcome in. I'm Kay and this is my April no-buy update. This is what I spent, why I spent it, and how I felt about spending it. But before I get into that, April is quarter two. And I talked about in my original no-buy video that I am doing quarterly spending rules because I don't know who I'm going to be in quarter three or quarter four. So we are officially in quarter two, which means there's a new set of rules that are overarching throughout these months. I had adjusted my rules a little bit based on what I learned in quarter one about myself, my spending, and what I needed help focusing on. I'm not technically trying to be stricter in quarter two because I think I did pretty well in quarter one, but I am trying to be clearer. If you've been around my channel for any time, you know that I'm trying to live a more intentional life, and that a lot of that comes from what I'm bringing into my life, what I'm taking out of my life, what I'm giving space to in my home. So we'll just go through them really quickly. Rule number one was no clothing except I have a small summer budget. And that is purely because I did that massive declutter and realized that I finally got rid of all the shorts that don't fit me. Rule number two had to do with business spending because I realized back in March that I was buying education courses, apps, and all the things. And I set a rule that I can only get one business education, something like that, a month if I have finished the one from the previous month. If I haven't already used what I have bought, then I don't need to bring something new into my business. Rule number three was the biggest thing that came out of quarter one. I'm allowed to pass things through my contentment filter, but if I cannot name exactly when I'm going to use it and why I need it, then I can't have it. I don't want to be stuck in this could be useful someday. If I'm buying it this month, I want to need to use it in the very near future. And lastly, rule number four is just kind of the core of the no-buy type rules that you'll see in a lot of people's no-buy videos. Necessities are obviously okay. Food and gas, anything pre-budgeted for, such as I have 13 nieces or nephews to buy birthday presents for, and I try to stick to the same amount per child throughout the year. So as long as I'm doing that, then I'm on track. And then, like I said, anything that I am looking to purchase has to run through my contentment journey filter because I am doing a no buy. Maybe you would call it a low buy. The goal is not to buy new things, but if something feels like it would help me on this journey to contentment through the declutterings and getting rid of things, but bringing in intentional things, then I'm not telling myself that I can't buy it, but it has to fit all of the rules. And I have to reflect on it every video with you here. So what did I actually spend in April? Well, I did spend money at the toy store with my kids, but I'm calling this clean, allowed, approved. We spent $37. This is something we do for special moments after a bit of a hard dentist appointment a few months ago. She had to go back and get some new x-rays, and so it became more of a special treat or reward to let her pick something out. And since her brother was there, he also picked something out because it was his first time going to the dentist to just see what it's like. And we are trying to make it fun for him. I also had another nephew birthday, so I spent money on that, but that was a planned category and I stuck to my budget. And I also spent $100 on wedding gear because I had to shoot a wedding in April and my flash mounts one was missing and one was broken. So unfortunately, I had that expense, but technically it is tied to my paid work. So these items all felt clean, planned, no internal debate with them, no running them through a filter, which brings me to the wedding weekend. This was very situational spending, not something that I typically do, but since I was gone, I shot a wedding the day before with a friend, then drove to my wedding, shot the wedding, and stayed over, and then had to drive home the 3 hours. So I did have to buy food, go to coffee shops instead of making my own coffee. I had to get snacks and gas and all the things. Technically, this is built into the wedding package income, but it was something that I tried to be aware of because it can be very easy to not bring your own food, not pack your own snacks for the car ride. But I did. I packed an entire cooler of snacks for the way there and for the next day, the way home. So while I did stop for some fresh coffee, nice hot coffee, can't bring that in a cooler, as well as a lunch bowl on the way home, I ate everything else that I had packed, and I'm very proud of myself for planning ahead. And I think if I wasn't doing a no-buy year, then I probably wouldn't have packed much and would have just stopped everywhere along the way. But that can really add up to have 3 full days kind of out of the house where you need to stop and buy food. So convenience comes into play there, but also it's a part of working and traveling and wedding weekends for me. And I think overall, it wasn't reckless. It was convenience-based. And I am happy with the amount I did end up spending because it could have been a lot more. And then we have the one item on my list that, again, I think it was March. It's a no. It's no clothing unless that small summer budget. And what do we have here? What do we have here? This is a hoodie. This is a beautiful, gorgeous, thick, lovely hoodie. And it is not a summer item. I have hoodies and I didn't need this. I have been nonstop wearing the greenish mint version of this hoodie. This one's slightly different, but I have been wearing that nonstop. And I just keep reaching for it. And then my husband is really good about doing laundry. That's something that we split in our household, and he is in charge of the laundry for the most part. And so it is oftentimes ready for me to wear again. But I saw their spring sale and it was like 70% off. And again, I think I have mentioned this in a previous no buy video. The sale will get me because it is something that I love and reach for. And I know I'm going to wear this and I know I'm going to love having it. And I'm already excited to have it for this weekend because it's supposed to get rainy and like be 50 degrees or something. But it is a hoodie. It is clothing and I didn't need it. And I justified it by saying I can get rid of 5 other hoodies that I'm not grabbing for, that I don't want to put on because they are not as plush and soft and warm and just like cozy. And so what if I just get rid of those and I replace it with this one because it's on sale? So in a sense, I could say I'm running this through my contentment filter and it will lead to contentment because I'm so excited to wear it. But I also told myself no clothing. And what did I do? I bought clothing. So do with that what you will. I am going to go through my sweatshirts and I'm going to get rid of some because I have to, because I bought this. And I'm going to prove it to myself that I will wear it and it will be worth the investment, my return on investment, because I am going to wear it often and now I can swap it out with the other one. But again, going into May, no more hoodies. I think May needs to have a strict no more hoodies. I live in hoodies and it is so easy to justify them because I wear them all the time. So that was the biggest no for April. But the most interesting part of April isn't just that I keep buying clothes. I noticed the pattern here is what happens after I run something through my contentment filter, after I say yes to the beginning, before I hit checkout. For example, I got this curl cream. It's a Kitsch air dry cream because you probably can't tell today because it's up in a huge bun. I still have not gotten my hair cut. I put this on my goal list last June to get a haircut, and I am waiting for the hairdresser to respond, and I'm hoping to get it cut this month. But I'm trying to do less blow drying of my hair and straightening of it, but I have so much hair. It is curly wavy and it's a lot on hot days. And I don't feel like sitting there for 45 minutes with a hairdryer to make my hair look nice. So this came highly recommended for my type of hair. I have used it since buying it, and it has been great, and I highly recommend it. But the problem is, this ran through my contentment filter. This one got a check. And then there was this, I think it was either add for free shipping or at a discounted price, their hair perfumes. So I got these 2 hair perfumes because I thought they would smell good, because they gave me the discounted price and free shipping by filling my cart. So to be honest, did I need these? No, they're hair perfumes. That is not a necessity. That is a luxury. That is something that I shouldn't have added to my cart. I was able to justify it because I said, well, I'm getting free shipping and it's basically the cost of those, so why not fill that gap? And if you're a millennial especially, I've heard this be a thing among us where it's very much so that we would rather add more to our cart to get free shipping than just pay the shipping. And I don't remember what the numbers were, but in this case, I think it was like 50% off if I counted the shipping and I did the whole girl math and everything. But I could have been completely content with just this and not adding on these. I could have even gone to a store and found this, but I didn't. I wanted to buy it online. And that is something where I spent more to feel like I was saving. And even though the first thing, why do people start chainsawing when I am talking? I hope you can't hear that. So that was something that I put through my contentment filter that had a sneaky back door to adding something in at the last minute before I checked out. Which also brings me to the last item, which was these books. I bought a whole set of books. They came in a set of 6, and that is great. That is fine, because I will be using these for homeschool with my daughter. They are simple board books, insects, oceans, forest, all the things. So the problem here is not that I bought these books, because I'm okay with buying these books, because we are doing kind of a pre-K homeschool right now during the summer to then move into kindergarten. So I'm using them right now. But the problem is that while I was there, I was like, let me add in, which I couldn't find it before this video, let me add in this butterfly flip book and this insect flip book. And I added 2 more books that were different, but the same. They're more interactive. You like flip the pages to match the butterfly wings and the beetle wings. But I got an insect book where we could have talked about butterflies and beetles. I didn't need it. I could have started smaller with just these 6. And instead, I added in 2 more books before I hit checkout. But here I am having to sit and talk to you and tell you that I added more to my cart while I was there. And that's when I'm seeing the pattern, is that my contentment filter works in the beginning. But once something passes the filter, I start expanding my purchases. Useful doesn't always mean necessary. Just because I'm getting one thing doesn't mean I need 2 or 3 from the same shop. Just because I'm filling my cart with something doesn't mean I need to get the free shipping. Because the first yes is never the issue here. It's always what follows it. It's what sneaks in before I hit checkout. And this is why I needed these quarter 2 rules. Because I have to stay intentional all the way through. One purchase needs to stay one decision. Everything has to be run through the contentment filter, not a shop or a cart. Not this shopping session can start because it fits in my contentment filter. It has to be every single item that I'm choosing to purchase. If I want something else, it needs to go on a list, not in my cart. And in that moment of running it through the contentment filter, I could say these books are being used, but when exactly am I applying that rule number 3 of having a time and a date to use the other books? Because I already had books to fill that slot. Did I need to add 2 more? I had. This was going to be useful right away, especially over the wedding weekend. But when am I using these specifically? What is the time and place that these are needed for? And I don't have an answer for that. So April wasn't a failure. I'm not seeing myself or this journey as a failure, but it was a refinement. It was once again me becoming more aware of my innate spending habits. And that is why I'm doing this no buy. It is not to spend $0 perfectly every month. It is to make small shifts that lead to big change. April showed me that I can be very intentional at the start. I can run everything through a filter, and I can still inflate my purchases. I can still drift by the end of my checkout. If I don't catch that now, then my spending slowly expands without me even realizing it. So now, once again, going into May, I have a slightly refined and tweaked structure to help me make sure that even if I'm running it through my contentment filter, I am now also making sure that the additional purchases, the add-ons, the justification for free shipping is also being questioned. Thank you for being here today. I hope this was helpful, eye-opening, insightful, maybe gave you permission to check your spending habits and or be a little softer on yourself, to just raise awareness in your life for what you're doing, how you're spending your money, and not, always aiming for that perfect clean slate every month. Because I'm not perfect, and I don't think you are either. And that is the best part about being human. We have flaws, we make mistakes, and we can learn from them each and every time. So I will see you for the May update and all the videos that come before then. Bye.